We are live. Hello, I am Dr. Vanessa, and this is another episode of Hush No More with Dr. Vanessa. I am so excited. Today is a wonderful day. Any day that we are blessed, the day that we could wake up, the day that we can smile, the day that we can encourage somebody else because we done been through so much crap and we on the other side is an absolutely beautiful day. I want y'all to know that this episode is sponsored by my favorite sponsor, CTR Media Network. They allow us to be on their platform. So not only are we a podcast, we are also on TV. Check out CTR Media Network. Check out Dr. Tina Ramsey. If you are interested in doing a podcast, please reach out to her because she is phenomenal. And that's CTR Media Network. Check them out because they're growing and there's nothing negative on their show. I want y'all to know that April 21st is Incest Awareness Day. Why is that important? It's important because we don't talk about incest. We don't talk about the families who have sexual relations that is not consensual. Some sex is consensual, but when it comes to incest, it is not consensual. And that is what today is. If you or someone you know is struggling with incest, I encourage you to go to Incest Aware. They're an amazing organization. Joe is the executive director. She is phenomenal. And let people know that this is Incest Awareness Day, that it is a day that we talk about it and that we don't hush no more about the tragedies that's going on. I have had clients who have had sexual relations with their mother, sexual relations with their fathers, cousins, siblings. It is something that most people can't imagine, but it happens. And so make people feel like they're not alone. And so it's Incest Awareness Day. So make sure you mark that on your calendar. It's not something that we want to celebrate, but I like talking about it because we don't talk about it enough. Okay. Now I'm going to get to my guest today. That's what I really want to get to. I don't. Do y'all hear how excited I am? How my energy is today? I'm like, yes, this is the day. I have the amazing Tasha Cater here with me today. And our episode is liberated from rape and addiction. And those are the things that she has been liberated from. And we're going to talk about some of the crap that she's been through and how she is on the other side. So, welcome, beautiful. How are you
Well,
today?
I'm blessed. Thank you for having me. I'm excited just to be my authentic self and to, share my truth and help others, encourage others to share their truth as well on this matter. And I'm
Yes.
happy we're here today with this girl. Thank you.
You're so welcome, and thank you for agreeing to come on because a lot of times
Absolutely.
people don't want to share and they don't want to share their truth, but that's how we become liberated, right?
Yes,
That's when
yes.
we decide to hush no more. So I love when you said I want my title to be liberated. That was
Mhm,
so dope. So
mhm.
what is your hush topic, Tasha?
My hush topic is where I'm actually at now. Healing after trauma, after realizing that, because a lot of us didn't even know we had trauma or knew the definition of the word trauma and what it related to. And we just thought we had a personality that was complicated, and we complicate, our feelings with people, or people might see us as that. And I thought that was important because I didn't want to create my future surrounded by what happened to me. I wanted it to be more of a clear and impactful theme on how I reclaimed my voice, how I reclaimed my identity after so much silence in my life and so many years that this was going on in my life. So that's my topic
Okay.
today. Yeah, and so it relates to Hush No More because I found out how much damage physically happened to me when I could not speak or articulate what I was carrying. I first had to identify the trauma, and also I had to study it. I didn't know. I didn't. When people say doctors say, "Oh, you sick? You got this and you got that," but you don't never go home and find out more about what you got and how to heal yourself. And that was one of the things that, um, and also addiction. I wanted to say that too. Identifying and understanding it wasn't addiction; it was lacking the tools for my trauma.
Mhm.
what kind of tools were, and being marginalized. I'm a black woman. I grew up in New York City, was born in New York City. So I lived in neighborhoods where information was not at accessible,
Mhm.
not even in places where I had been, even in prison, detox, or, places of, trying to get myself together emotionally and physically after, during addiction,
Mhm.
you
So
know.
let's share with us like what started. So to get to you to get to your healing, what things happened to you? Like just in general, because I don't believe in just pounding what happened, but just letting people know what was it that happened. So did it start in childhood for you and then you end up to this day? So where did you start at in New York?
So I started in Queens, and that's where it actually started for me. I was 12 years old. I was born in Queens, and at about 12 years old is when we moved to Harlem. But I was raped as a child inside of a place that this shouldn't have never happened to me, which was an after school program with the Police Athletic League. And the director was him and another man, so two, it was a place I didn't know what was, I'm there to play. I'm there to play with my friends. I'm here after school. I'm here. I want to flip. I want to jump rope. I want to roller skate and everything. But I was, lured to rooms and I would say I would have called it molestation now, but now that I understand that I did not have a say so in it, and I was it made me feel like I was willingly participating because the shame that shut me down as a child, you know. And then I was rewarded with food for the rape. So I came from family I was poor. My dad was struggling with addiction. We were living in my grandmother's basement, and it was six of us. My parents had been, as a matter of fact, their anniversary is just a couple of days ago, and I love my mom and dad, and they are the number one role models in my life because before I went on this track of this, they were on it first. So I was a guardian to my mother and father before I ever was introduced into pharmaceutical or street drugs. So it started for me then as a child, and then it just progressed.
The
It
progression.
was, yeah, it progressed. It wasn't like it was an isolated one time thing that happened to me. It was continued throughout life. So if it wasn't the man at the PAL, my mother used to give me uh, a note to get some food from the man on the grocer on the same corner of the PAL. And Mr. Larry, she used to say, go take this to Mr. Larry. And I take it to Mr. Larry. But Mr. Larry used to take me down in the basement and pull my pants down and perform oral sex on me as a little girl. And then he would go upstairs and pack the bag that my mother had asked for on credit.
Mhm.
And my mother never knew that this was what was happening to me. My
Why didn't
brother,
you tell your mom?
oh man, I did what?
Yeah,
Tell
I always wonder
well,
why, because I
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, how does a child open up a conversation and say, "Oh, somebody just took me downstairs because and did this to me, this, that, and the other"? Because you got to remember, he went for my body in my sacred spot, my wound. So it's a sense of pleasure that comes along with the violation, which confuses you.
right.
You understand? This confuse you like it feel good, but it ain't right to the body and then the psyche. So it was early in life that it became like this was what you get when you give this. And being in poverty and needing to feel like I was responsible for things in my life, like my family and everything. Like I said, my father was going through addiction, and my mother was soon after that. Not at that time, but soon after that, she fell into addiction as well. But um, it became a normal way of life now. So it seemed as if I was like a light bulb that was turned on to be sexually exploited as a child. And then when I moved on into the neighborhood, it was other people like the super. I'm like 12 years old. The super is, and at this time now, I'm feeling like a willing participant because I know there's possibly a reward after this.
It's food, it's money.
That's right.
You're a kid. Yeah, candy. We giving you candy. Yeah,
I'm a
we
kid,
you.
and I don't want it for myself. I want it for everybody. I
Mhm.
want to give whatever he's going to give me to give to my family, so I can everybody could go to bed, with food in their stomach. So as a child, it went on all the way into adulthood. Even when I went to prison, for possession of drugs and robbery and being in the wrong place at the wrong time around the wrong people, you know. And when I got to prison, it was also prevalent there as well. You know,
Thing. Yeah. So
yeah,
you seen this all your life. That's
all
what.
my life, up until when I realized what was happening to me and I reclaimed back myself. It was because there was no way for my mind to heal and my body also to heal from what was happening to me unless I withdrew it into myself and said, this is it became disgusting to myself. I want myself in a better place. I want to feel good about me. And I don't want to be a a backboard for every man in the world that finds me sexually attracted to him, whether I'm a child or not. And I see it wasn't, it was easier when I got older as a woman because now I could select. Now I could say no, I could say yes. And being that I was conditioned to make a way of a fair exchange, that's how it happened. So they would call that prostitution early on as a child.
As a child.
Yes.
I like that you said rape, that you didn't say molestation because it to me is rape. I don't like the word molestation. I'll be like, no, you raped that child. Children cannot
That's
consent.
right.
You
That's
did
right.
it, and that's what you did. And I like when people have that's their story because I never put a word in your mouth and in your story, but that's your story, and we stick to it. And people like, no, you can't rape a child. Yes, you can.
Yes.
Johnny said, blessings, family. She was here last week with Karen.
Hi, Johnny.
I got another comment from Angela. She said, it's liberating to know you recognize your childhood trauma. And that's important because some people don't remember or don't even recognize that it was trauma, right? We still
Right.
trying to work on people with that. And then Brutus said, peace and blessings to you.
Peace,
So
Brutus.
thank
Mhm.
y'all. Do you think that there was a major correlation between addiction and your sexual trauma early on as a child? How did the two correlate?
Yeah, I would say it correlated. It was more so when addiction came late in my life. Well, I would say it was late because a lot of people, when they tell you stories when they were teenagers and everything, I was 24. So you remember I told you my mom and my dad were in addiction, and so I was anti-drug. So my addiction came through a relationship. I seen my partner um in this euphoric energy that I wanted to also feel. I wanted to feel relaxed. I wanted to sit down. I wanted to um come outside of myself. I wanted to be outside of myself and not inside of myself, because when sexual trauma happens, there's a vibration to your soul and your going about every day that will attract that to you, whether you want it or not. And you have to deal with it and learn how to guard yourself. So that was when I was 24 years old is when addiction came. So I realized I didn't have any tools or a voice to even start my story out of silence. So I'm in the relationships and my partners didn't even know me, my children, it was just, inside thing of just being, gags. And so addiction was bad for me. A lot of things happened to me in addiction because I tried to help myself after I became addicted to drugs. I've been to like 17 detoxes, maybe 4 or 5 rehabs in my life. I never stopped trying to help myself get off of drugs, because the things that I had to do for drugs was not what I wanted to live with myself. So I was addicted to crack and heroin. I used heroin intranasally, so I was dual addicted to two narcotics at the
Mhm.
same time. And so I went to detox a lot. I went because your body gets tired. And and as a woman, when you mince and you would bleed and everything, those were the times where I would go and recoup myself when I was mincing, and when I was in a methadone program, I walked into a study that was hosted by Presbyterian Columbia Presbyterian Hospital, and they were testing people for, not testing, they were screening people for HIV. Like, I didn't know it was a study. They called it a study. So what I would say now, and what I know what happened to me, I was solicited into a study in the methadone clinic where they offered you $25 the first day to do these stacks of questions that are what we're talking about now. All these questions: how many people have you had sex with? Have you ever did this? Have you ever did that? Have you ever did? Well, on the second day, and I received my next $25, it came with an inoculation. And I didn't know that that was a part of this study, because remember, I'm an active addiction. I
Right.
just want the $25. Okay.
Just need the money.
I just want the money. So when I was inoculated, and I never forget when I asked the lady, I said, "What is this?" And she told me a placebo. And at that time, I was not educated enough to know the definition of the word placebo, but I carried it with me for a very long time. Maybe 6 months after that, I got my first jail bid, and I went to jail, and I was became sick. I started getting this cough that was like caved my chest in, and it was almost like they was following me too, because when I got to prison right after the methadone program and the inoculation by Columbia Presbyterian Hospital, who was
Call them
hosting.
out now. Call them
Yes,
out.
yes, I am. It says hush no more. We're not playing around here. We're not saying they, them who, them, those over there, and their names are this.
Mhm.
Okay. So when I get to prison, to Beacon Correctional Facility, there's a call out on the wall. A call out is a medical thing that they say, and they got this sign on the wall: get tested for HIV. I'm saying, oh, it feels as if they're following me, because I never was a name with the study. I was a number. And they made that a thing. They was like, oh, we won't put your name on it. You'll have an identification tag and this, that, and the other. I just went to, just leave me alone, lady. But when I asked, I said, what is that? She told me it was placebo. And when I found out what it was it could be the actual virus or whatever they are doing. She inoculated me with HIV. I tested 6 months later. The night before the test, I had a dream. I got up and I told my bunkie, she was North Carolina, older lady, and I said, Miss Mary, I said I had a dream that I was HIV positive, because they put the call out up for to go get the results. So my
Mhm.
name is on the list to go get the results. But the night before, I seen a folder opened up on the desk with the word positive circled in red. When I walked into the office and this, that, and the other, and I told the nurse, I said, no need to even talk. I know. I got that. She said, yes, Tasha, I'm sorry to tell you, sit down. But for some reason, I never took it fully in that I had that, because when I came out that clinic and told all the girls that I was doing time, all of us was doing time, my sisters, that we was doing time together, they all broke down and cried, and like it was a funeral right there. I said, guess what, y'all? They said, what happened? They called me Fire. They said, what happened, Fire? I said, they told me I got HIV. They they went crazy. They actually shut the jail down after my
Because he had
results.
HIV.
Jail down because we on a work camp. These girls could not work. After I came out there, all of them coming out, I'm negative, I'm negative, I'm negative. And here I came out with the big bang, I'm positive. And the first medicine they gave me when I got released from prison, I threw it in the garbage. Right on 125th Street, Lexington Avenue. When I got on the plane to Georgia, I didn't go to parole. I didn't go nowhere. I just wanted out this whole game here. So addiction was the play where that's how even though I was out there having sex, Even though I may have encountered people who were HIV positive, but this stands out more than anything because I became AIDS full blown within 3 years. I had two T cells, millions of copies of the virus running through my body, where I am not this right now, what it was back in 2001. I became full AIDS by 2005. Okay. So now I'm at a real big crossroad because I'm inside a facility where there's no education about it. But I was already reading the Ebony magazine, the Jet magazine, and Source magazines and stuff like that. And I wanted to know, why was this so attracted to Black women? Every article I was reading
Was Black
at
women.
2000, it was Black women. And then when I found myself one of those Black women, I said, hey, something's got to give. So I had a struggle with going to the doctor. I had a struggle with adherence to medicine. I had a struggle with the connections with facilities and to trust them to heal me. I had a struggle, and it made relationships in my life complicated because everybody thought that I didn't care about myself because I didn't want to go to the doctor. But I had a God inside of me that was telling me everything that was going on. And when I woke up to it, he was like, this is not on you. I'm going to take you somewhere that you don't know, and I'm using you to do it. I said, you mean you going to want me to tell people what happened to me? Yes. Inside my own mind, this conversation, this dialogue with this higher consciousness was happening to me in the midst of all of that. So it complicated relationships because it looked like I didn't care about myself. And I was in an internal battle with that trust factor. So now I got addiction. I'm HIV positive. Not to mention, when I went to prison, they took all my children. Okay. Everybody else was getting called to family court. All the women right next to me, this cell, they was calling them to family court, but they delivered the same papers to the address that I was in prison to tell me that they had terminated my parental rights. So it's safe to say y'all just want me to take myself out, and y'all got a good setup going on. Okay. When you take some, you have the shame, the guilt, and not understanding, and you looking at by people like you a hoe and you a crackhead and you this, that, and the other. That's some hard stuff to get out of. And that's what I need people to know. So when a woman tell you she got off of crack, she got off of alcohol, she got off of dope, she got off of it, baby, that's work.
Work.
You got to really, really work. And you got to get rid of people that was okay with seeing you like that. Okay? You don't need people to take you by the hand to go and do nothing, when it comes to that point, because when you lay down to yourself, there's a dialogue that only you is battling with you. Okay? So when I went through all that, and this was from the years of my first jail time was 96. This went in a window of back and forth in 2 state beds in prison because they were picking us up like that. We was out there on drugs, but we wasn't committing a crime to humanity by only using drugs and buying uncontrolled substances that are illegal. But they raped us up and like this, put us in the prison and had their own pageant. I seen it happen. I seen every beautiful woman in this New York City locked into these walls in this place. And medically, physically, and spiritually, they did what they wanted to do with us. And this started from a child. It just progressed into a more dynamic that when you come out of addiction, homelessness, disease in your body, it is not a game. You are not no longer a regular person. You are a God. Okay? You have created a new, let me tell you this. And I don't stop people from taking medicine, but I got educated. God brought Dr. CB out. God brought doctors out, and people started sharing that HIV and all of this was curable, and your mind can also be cured from addiction because it don't last that long. It's like a fire that wear out after a while because you can't get high no more. Okay, it's nothing else to get high with. Okay, so when you that started happening in my life, I said I got to do this research on check on my body. I got to find out what this HIV is and why I'm only walking. What is T cells? What's the viral load? What's this, that, and the other? Because they wasn't going to sit me in no class
They
and
didn't
tell
want
me.
to heal you. They gave it to you.
They gave it to me. So, and then they wanted me to take myself out. But before they did that, they worked on my children. I have 9 children and 9 grandchildren. Okay. All right. And I don't know how many baby daddies. Okay. Because that's how life was. It seemed like I was just a baby. I was in the breeding program too. That's another thing. Everybody thought I just wanted to have some kids and just getting pregnant like that. I ain't never had a man to love me or love my kids. My children hold me accountable for everything. Like I had them by myself. And we all was in the war. My mother's, before that, this, that, and the other. When I started to educate myself on what's really happening to us as a whole and as
Generational.
people, that's right. I start saying, oh, I'm not by myself. This been going on for decades and hundreds of years. And I'm a descendant from my ancestors that God knows what they did with. But I feel like there's something else inside of me that is going to be rebirthed. And when I went towards healing my mind first, and that meant I had to accept my situations for what they were, no longer focus on the problem, and start creating a architectural divine plan for my life. And when I started just thinking about it, things started falling in place for me to be able to choose myself. So I was losing relationships because relationships and people take a lot of your time when you need to heal yourself. Okay? That's not a game. So the children was gone. The husband I got in a child molestation case. Come on now, let's go. I'm sitting in the laundry with my husband that was missing for 9 months, and then he come back, this, that, and the other, and we stand in the laundry, and it's 15 police officers now in the laundromat talking about put your hands behind your back. I'm saying, what the hell is going on? He just was with me in Florida. What's going on? The officer tell me you don't know about this. I said, what I don't know about? Your husband is charged with child molestation. Okay. That shook me because I'm like, no, this scared me because he's with me. He got in my kids, my daughters, and everything, this, that, and the other. But baby, who cares? Because what's behind the hidden walls, it will show up on you sooner or later. And I was doing the laundry, ain't that something? But come out in the wash, gonna come out in the dryer, and I was standing at the dryer, going to go. I seen their reflection through the glass of the dryer. 15 of them said they just got his picture at the roll call. We just came back into the city. So the 9 months that you was gone, you done went and really did it. So that was the end of that marriage. Because I wasn't going for that. Especially if you wasn't fighting for yourself. And when he told me he gonna go and say guilty to the lesser charge, well, you lesser your charge right on over there then, sir. And leave me here with my children and let me slid his back up against my wall, one tear dropping out his eye, because you look guilty. You don't look like a man that's innocently charged to this. Whatever you did on the side, and it was a child. So that was the end of that. So now I know this is a highlight in my life. This is something that's happening in my life. Why am I experiencing these things? Why am I coming to the place where I'm coming closer to understanding who am I? Because that's the question now. Why have I survived all these things? So I had to give myself love for choosing myself and not getting entangled into codependency in situations that make you comfortable and say, oh, I don't want to disturb the fight. I don't want to disturb nothing. No, we're going to disturb everything around here because we're going to open our mouth and ask some questions. And so when I started to speak, when I started to people got tired of me too because I couldn't stop talking about it. Like, let me tell you what happened to me.
What made you start that? Was it the husband and the fact that he committed molestation, something similar what happened to you? Or what got you there to say, "Hey, I got to figure this out"?
I
It was
don't.
years. It was so many years that
That's what
you
I'm
had so
saying.
many
So
struggles.
let me tell you, it was like a fire brewing. There always was the passion to want to know the truth, speak the truth, be truthful, and be honest. So when I started getting honest with myself, I didn't have a problem with saying my own business. I don't care about what's going on with nobody.
Yeah.
Girlfriend, I got too much stuff to make up stuff. I got too much stuff going on with me not to line up my own universe. It's not with the word you. We all verses of God in different tones and frequencies in here. And I became a tone and a frequency for the healed God, the Chiron warrior, the wounded warrior. So I walked around with my wounds, but at the same time healing in from those places. So if I got a stab wound over here and a stab wound and my head all bust up, I have to tend to them, right? To heal them, right? I got to apply the ointment. I got to change the bandages. I can't leave the wound just unattended because this is evidence of not no self-love. So I had to heal myself from HIV, which I would say today I'm healed from HIV. Okay.
Y'all
With
better listen to that.
with
Y'all better listen.
with no medicine from the same government that gave it to me. I changed my diet. I changed my life. I changed how I think about myself. When I found out what it was, and for y'all that don't know what it is, it's mucus in the blood, and mucus can be removed out of the blood in the gut. Okay? And your blood change every 7 years. Okay? I learned that. I started acting like a doctor at the library. I started acting like my own Reiki healer. I started acting like my own physician and started moving around and shaking around that information that was going to free me. And also, I spent time studying because I don't know what people think. You think somebody going to drop a dime on you and you ain't going to have to look into it. It said knocking, it'll be answered to you. If you seek it, you're going to find it. And open your mouth and you will get what you're asking for. And I wanted the truth. So when I found out that I was not accountable and responsible for the setup that's on humanity, I became a part of the warrior and being a part of this cause and what we say, this is what happened clearly. Because now, how can I hold myself accountable and walk around with all this damn shame? No, 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 no. This is a setup here. And I got to see my way out of it. And that's how I became a sovereign thinker for myself. So now no longer I need addiction. I don't need, let me tell you something. Crack ain't for the weak. Okay? I done seen crack take the best man and the best woman all the way down. I done seen heroin, OD. I've done seen it all. Okay? I done seen millionaires go to crack ain't for drugs, period. And when you want them, that's why I don't judge people. I said, well, I wish them well on their journey back to themselves. Because when you go into the shadow, that's where we going. We going to numb ourselves. And you think people that's on drugs ain't having the same feelings that you have, that's where you're wrong. That's where you get it messed up. They feel more deeply about it than you do. That's why they high. Because they can't deal with your uncaring self. Because you fix them and wrap them into the crackhead box, the prostitution box, this, that, and the other. You don't see God in me, in my state where I'm at right now. So I have to see it in myself. And baby, when I tell you, you came and rise out of that grave, and you get off them cracks, and you get off them drugs, and you get your mind back, huh? God gonna give you some money. Yeah, because you can't depend on the rest of everybody else. I'm trying to tell you, I'm a living, all of that, I got justice. I'm still getting it today. So while they was raping me in the jailhouse, God was putting the dollar signs in my pocketbook because the day and the astrological changes was going to happen to bring that day back around, because everybody going to be accountable now.
For what they
You
did.
ain't escaping nothing in here. I don't care how long it is. And if it don't come back how you gave it, you're going to get it back in a unique style that's just for you. And so that helped me. I had to get courage. I couldn't be thinking about what people think about me. Baby, you wasn't thinking about what I was thinking about when I was on my knees over there and I was bent over at the back and this, that, and the other. And you want me to give you a graphic detail of what I did? No. You don't need to know that. All you need to know is that a woman, when she goes through that and brings herself out of that, you are looking at God. Okay? Because how you going to call me that? How you not going to call me that? How you not going to see your father or your mother inside a person who has brought themselves out of a pit? Nobody went down and pulled me up. They didn't say, yo, up here. No. I had to do it myself. And I had to be thought about wrong. I had to be misunderstood. Because the way that I went it was unique to my own healing. Okay? So what worked for you don't work for me. You can't throw the clinical program down on me because you feel like this is how it's going to work for people. No, it's lived experience and spoken truth that heals you and brings you back to a place of sovereignty. And I hold myself accountable for that sovereignty, because when I think about it, Vanessa, I did that myself. I made the choice to know that this condition was not permanent. And when I made that choice, it was because I took steps towards it not being a permanency. Because you imagine being on crack in 2026?
And people still are.
I know, but I'm just saying, I don't see it no more because I ain't in that planet no more.
Place. Nope. And trauma and drugs go together.
It don't be nowhere near me. I don't even see it. I don't even live in the same place where everybody was a crackhead. Thank you. Thank you, Tiffany. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Because, and that's another thing. Recognition is big. That's why I tell people, when you see people get themselves together, say something to them. I see you. Because people need that, because you don't know what it takes to get up with an ugly self every day and not take yourself out. Okay? On the curb and not take yourself out. And to come back from that, come on, baby, now. We need a class to open up. We need class to open up on how it's done. Love you too. That's my sister. Love you later. Yeah. So, and that was another thing. I'm the eldest. I got 9 children. That's my granddaughter.
That's your granddaughter. They on you, boy. They loving you, boy. You said she been like that. That you got this. You got this. Yes.
Yeah. So
and that's why your name Fight.
That's right. That's right. And it's so crazy. That's what your daughter seen when I did my Reiki with her. And I didn't get to tell her that, but the first thing she said to me was about some fire. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, this girl is something else. You know?
Yes.
And so, and the other piece where, because I'm going to tell you about addiction. Addiction is personable. Okay? Because you don't know what is in a person's mind and in their heart and in their soul when they got to go pick up a drink, when they got to go light a stem or smoke or whatever they doing. The energy behind that is not nothing to play with when it is in play. And let me tell you something, open your mouth and judge them, and you might find yourself there to understand. Because when I seen my father and everything, and I was hating on him, I was hating my daddy, and I didn't even know how wounded he was. I was like, why this man shooting these dope for these many years? Why is he destroying us? Because he on drugs. Well, baby, I didn't know I was initiated in finding out why. And I fell in love with my daddy all over again from a little girl because I said, God, talking daddy. I still feel everything, even though I'm on this grass and I can't reach my arms out to nobody because God don't put me in the darkness by myself. And you looking at me thinking that something wrong with me and I ain't this, that, and the other. No, I'm in the darkness right now. And I'm going to discover me and I'm going to come out in the light sooner or later. You're going to see what I was working on because it's going to show up. And God didn't show up. All my children came back and it didn't come back by the sources of the ones that took them. God delivered them one by. I could have been overwhelmed because they was gone for many years. Your kids be going 17 years. You don't know where they at because the system them took them. Would you smoke crack?
Can't you?
Okay.
You.
They take your baby from you and not one baby. So I'm sitting there now and with holes in my soul because I done carried this baby and loved this baby. And I had about 2 children crack addicted that I had to leave in the hospital. What I was going to do? What I was going to do? Take the baby to the crack house. Because the daddy is the crack dealer. He don't want it. I love myself and I love this baby through this right here. See, y'all don't know. And God prepared me for this day to be able to let you know. And you take my children, and then I see God start doing this miracle, deliver my children back to me. They come knocking on my door, on a new door. I ain't been in this place. They wasn't born here. Miraculous things. And I was in prison, sitting in the ASAP program, alcohol substance abuse treatment program, because that's the first program they put you in when you go into the prison. They put you in ABE, adult basic education, and put you in the ASAP program. Okay? And if you got a money crime, you go into the money crime program. Even if it was motivated behind drugs and that's why you were stealing people money, you still got to go over there. So now I'm in the ASAP program. I'm a facilitator because I need to talk. You know what I used to do, Vanessa? I used to make baby dolls in jail because prison's so hard, it make women forget that they're a woman and a mother. I used to make baby strollers out of mop buckets. Okay? I used to sit there and write so many prayers for all the girls that was around me because we was all sitting in the same program telling the same story. She ain't know what her kids was. She don't know what her kids at. We don't know. I need to know. And the people that got us captive, they don't care that you're going to walk out these doors to nothing. Okay? So when that started happening, I knew who I was because I asked God. I said, please use me. These people is These people is the devil. Please, God, take me. Do something. I never threatened God with killing myself except for one time. And it was according to my children. I said, you know what? I got 2 kids left. And that's because my sisters, they my baby sisters too, held on to my 2 daughters for me. They didn't even put them in damn school to the 3rd and the 4th grade. Because they was looking for my kids to make me destroy myself. Because of this day right here. Because I had to talk to you and tell you about it. So they set many traps for me to make sure I don't get here today. Okay? But I made it. Okay? And so now, when these children return, I got a lot of answering to do now. Now this is more trauma. Because they holding me accountable. They thinking I didn't do something right. So now I got to bring myself down in some place that I don't want to be with my children. And explaining to them. So here it go. Here it go, Roy. And guess what I came home with? I had about 25 journals of every child name that I was writing to every single day.
That's beautiful.
I have witnesses on here. I had composition books like this when I came home. For every child that when I laid there and I spoke everything. So I became a figure in jail of that. And God delivered my first two sons to me after not knowing where they was, and 11 years to me in the prison. Baby, when I tell you this jail was like a church this day, and I was very sick. I just caught TB in jail, and they calling me on a visit, and I was fussing about it too. And I'm down in the city, so everybody could really get to me. I'm fussing my way. I'm like, oh, I'm going to visit. I'm tired. Well, baby, my mother was sitting there with my two sons that I love so much, talking about, look at your sons. The scream that I let out shook the Holy Ghost from 23rd Street all the way to Harlem. They heard me upstairs. They let me have the visit all day. They let people come in and out all day. They was letting my kids come up in the prison. God had opened the Bayview doors like that for me when I was in that prison. It's Bayview Correctional Facility. It opened the doors up for my kids to come and see me without no ID. You know you can't come up in here without no ID and no, you got to be of age. But how was they going to turn these kids down standing outside the prison, looking up to the window calling me? So I was a testament to other women that I was sitting around every day with holes in their heart, getting ready to go smoke crack again as soon as they get out of here. Because ain't nobody tend to the wound. Ain't nobody, you done lock me up. You can put me in there. You can put me in there. But if you don't, it's no work being done on me. I'm just going to resume back to where it was. It's just space and time. And when the space and the time bring the opportunity, the same thing going to happen again. The repeat of where you left off at. And they tell you everything there, but they don't give you no tools. They don't tell you what to do. They say, oh, you're doing to repeat that. Oh, you're a part of recidivism. You'll be coming back and forth to jail. But they don't tell you, well, when is y'all going to stop bringing me in here? Because I ain't committing no crime. I'm only hurting myself. But when I realized that God did it, nope. I start paying attention. I started doing the work inside of prison. I started becoming an advocate. I started speaking up. I started writing letters. Because I couldn't do, it was nothing else I could do. And then when I seen what the reward was, and there was no more missing children, I could count all my children right now. They call me right now and be mommy, this, that, and the other, and grandma, da, da, da. And when I got my first grandbaby, that was the seal on the deal, baby. Oh, I was in love. I said, oh my God. Oh my God. God help me. And then when she told me that God had sent her there to help me, I believed her. Because I bet you I ain't go out that door and smoke no crack. I bet you ain't nobody lured me back to the life that I was, came up out of, because I had this baby to look at. And you know what they done did now. They done took all mine. Now they grown and got a problem with me. I got to fight through that. So I got to stay off of drugs while you got a problem with me. And the way that I've been coping is go get hot. Disappear. The whole time I was crying. You thought I was having a good time, huh? I'm sorry to mess up your dream that when I was on crack and everything, I was having a very, very, very hard time. There's a lot of days I wanted to jump up off the thing. But I told God, I said, I'm going to jump in this river if you don't do something. And I could swim. I'm threatening God real good. I'm going to jump in this river. If you let them come and get these two girls, I'm holding the universe accountable now to have me, to keep me something here to hang on. Okay? So that's where it started for me. I had to start tending the wound while I was in prison, because guess what? It was space and opportunity to do that. I get locked in a cell. So the only thing I had in there was them Bibles and them books from Miss Brown that used to come through from Joyce Myers, Creflo Dollar, Kenneth Copeland. These was the people that was making books for the battlefield of your mind. But it wasn't the seal in the deal. When I realized that I was the book being written, I started focus on being the author. Okay? And that is where I'm at today, is being the author of my own destiny, to being writing and rewriting my story and breaking silence. Because nobody gonna know if you don't tell them. Because people going you, and you need to tell them so they can help themselves too. Because people think wrong about situations. So when you come out of a tight situation where they thought that you was gonna stay in forever, it even helps them. Like, God dog it, I was wrong about her. You was wrong about me because you're thinking about life, period, and thinking that things is just one sided. Oh, baby, this a wheel here. What goes up must come down. And what's down there gonna go up. Okay? And you will get the situations get come to you that you are going to bless the world in. And so I'm blessing the world with my voice and my truth and reclaiming my identity after these things. I'm not that. I'm not a crackhead. I'm not a prostitute. I love myself today. And I would encourage anybody to have that for themselves too. And if you don't have to go in that way, which I found out is very corny because you can't stop people going into their alchemical life-saving situations. And it might look like some choice that you think that they choose it, and it's not. It's their path to awaken to themselves. Because when you start, when something hurt, what you do, you pay attention, right?
Pay
It
attention.
don't feel good, you pay attention, right? So if you in a situation that is not right, it's gonna keep you uncomfortable in a situation, you gonna fix it. Nobody else can't go and fix it for you. They can help you and love you, encourage you, and hope for you and pray for you. But you must be the one. You must be the one to open your mouth. So when I started opening my mouth, it was first to my family, you know, was the first people that I was able to safely share what I had been through, you know, because there was just love there, you know, like they see these is the first people to know what you've been through and everything and come through and get here today, you know. So I owe a lot of that to having a loving family when I wasn't loving, when I appeared to be unlovable, okay, and having gratitude for that. And where I am today is this is my life, you know, speaking up for myself, speaking up for others, letting you know it ain't hard, it ain't easy to heal from emotional pain of substance abuse and rape. Because when you say you can't say yes or no, and it forcefully happens to you, and it make you look like you willingly and you're participating in it, you'll have a problem with yourself because you'll blame yourself that you think that you could have did something different for the outcome, and it's not that way. It was for you to go through to understand that there's a power in you that can break and heal from that. You could break out of that. You could get free because the truth is what sets you free, and that's your self truth. Yeah, that your self truth, not other people' truth. That's not going to set you free. My truth ain't going to set you free. Your truth going to set you free. Okay? Because my conditions on how I lived in that, this, that, and the other is detailed down to my own thinking. Because I could have stayed out long. I probably was out longer than I should have been because of how I was thinking about myself. And also, the doors, it was no doors to go in through into myself. I could go to detox, I could go rehab, but that ain't gonna change my life.
Change your mind.
I need to talk.
Yep.
I need to hear myself. I need other people to hear me if I'm sounding crazy so they could tell me, you need to shut up. Because it's okay to shut up when you talking crazy and thinking crazy. And the only way people want to know it is you start saying something. And so people will know when you're back to yourself because you'll be a very calm, centered person with passion. A lot of people take I'm a Aries moon, and Aries sun. They take my stuff for anger sometimes. Like, I'm mad. I ain't mad. I got passion, baby.
Passionate. You passionate.
It's true. Don't mess with me like that. I love everybody, you know? But I love those that love themselves even more. Because you're conscious of who's in your life when you love yourself. But if you're not conscious of yourself, you messy. You're going to be messing with people. And you're going to be complicating people's feelings with themselves and with you. So loving yourself is the top of the order. Knowing thyself and that you can heal thyself, physician. So heal myself from HIV, mental health. Okay, I'm in 10 clubs by birth. I done walked through this mind like the Alcatraz, every Pelican Bay, every prison cell that was up in here, and those that was not supposed to be there, I evicted them with the crystals, with Christ consciousness. Okay, knowing that I'm God, knowing that Psalms 82.6 says that. Okay, you talking about me? I'm taking this personal. I'm not around. Oh, look, y'all. Look what we is. You got to know that yourself. Okay? And that's the only way you're going to come to self. Because we're gonna get out of here sooner or later. What you gonna be dead, still looking to have sex? What you gonna be dead, still going on drugs? Because if you die like that, that's what your bodiless self gonna be trying to do, and they're gonna call you a ghost. Okay? Because it's a will, baby. And we got to go through the gates. And while you here, you need to start alchemizing that.
That's
Okay?
that's a whole that one. I think that's a whole nother episode. And I think we're going to come back and be able to talk about that too, because healing and what does it look like in doing that is so important.
Yes.
I do want to say this, Tasha.
Okay.
A lot of times people don't understand addiction. You know,
Yes.
they're like, oh, you tried a drug and now you addicted. Majority of the people I talk to have some type of traumatic experience that happened to them. Then they end up on addiction and people don't give them grace. And until you heal and work in that space, you can't stop the addiction. I don't care what type of program, AA, methadone clinic, whatever you go to, it ain't gonna work if you don't get this together.
That's
You
right.
know, this heart space together.
The
That
heart
all is
space.
connected. And so you gave an inside look on prison, drugs. Like they put you in prison, but it ain't
Because
matter.
that's where you
With
go.
your kids, and you
That's
still
what happens.
right. You had
That's
to
where
make
you
that
go.
decision.
You go to jail, you go to the hospital, you go to the doctor, you're gonna be sick, you're gonna be broke, you're gonna be hungry. So yeah, I'm gonna tell you that part.
That's it.
That's it. That's how it go. Ain't nobody walking around dandy on drugs and broke and hungry. Don't know where their children at. This, that, and the other. That's some real life shit to get through and
And we
to
need
stand.
grace. We need
Yes,
grace.
grace. Thank you, God, for it.
Grace.
Thank you.
Mhm. Our community, you have to give them grace. You love them because no matter what you say, until they get it together and heal and work on that space, it won't go away. And that's proof for you. I have a
Yes.
surprise for you. You thought that Tiffany Carter was your
You gotta be. You better stop playing
niece.
around. That's my niece. That's
Your
my niece.
niece is
That's
here.
my niece.
Yes. And then
And
Vicky
my
Ball is
sister
here.
Vicky Bell here.
Yes, they're here for you.
Those my that's my tribe. I love them. I would never be here without these people. My niece, let me tell you something. She was a little girl, 4 or 5 years old. I used to come in the house off the street. She used to tell me, I want to give you some money. She used to grab my face like this, tell me she loved me and she cared for me. She get up on top. I'm talking about face to face with me. Okay? When I was dying in the hospital of AIDS, girl. This girl came and blew up the emergency room, and I think she healed everybody because when she walked through the door, she screamed to the top of her lungs, Mommy Tasha, because they call me Mommy Tasha. Nobody calls me Auntie. Everybody called me Mommy Tasha. Nieces, nephews, people, everybody. Look, she said, please don't die. Loud, shut. You could hear a rat piss on cotton. Okay? So I know the power of love and people when they love you and they care for you and you're dear to their hearts, whether you on crack or not. That's how I got off. Because I healed from this rape, okay? Because I was no good for no relationship now. You better go ahead. I ain't got no time for that. Being hooked up with an unhealed person and you up in a space that and you just feeling that's what my husband was doing me. Girl, he was killing me with the HIV. He was killing me. I was laying up and he's killing me every day because he was doing things that he wasn't even supposed to be doing, transferring it right into my body. Yes, he was.
Didn't even know.
Yeah, but that's my crew there. Love them.
Edward Taylor is in the studio, but I can't show him because he's in the
Okay.
studio. But he's here supporting you as well.
Yes,
And
yes,
it's like
Taylor.
family
Taylor
and
just said, the seed you were carrying. What
was
that
three
say,
he
Vanessa?
said Johnny said the seeds you were carrying was 3 generations old. You had to walk in depth of what your great 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 grandmother
Come
carried
on now, Johnny. You know.
to break
Yes.
this family generation curse.
Yes, girl,
God
you
has
know.
restored everything the devil tried to steal.
Thank you,
Clean, I
Johnny Allen.
salute
I
you.
love this comment because you hit it right on the head. Thank you.
We salute you, and I salute you too. I think
Thank
it's
you, Vanessa.
so beautiful. And of course, they're saying they love you. Your nieces,
Love y'all
they love
too.
you, and they're celebrating you. And that's how we do this as a community. It takes
Mhm.
love and appreciation. And you're right. When you see somebody on the other side, love on them, congratulate them, hold them up, and don't hold their past against them because
Okay.
they're
And
trying
I
to move
still got
forward.
people I love on crack. Like my cousin, I just seen a post of her on Facebook and everything. And I've sat there and watched the whole thing, speaking her truth, telling you she on crack, telling you they killed her son. Because I lost a son too. And he died. He didn't come home to me. He was murdered in jail. Okay, the same son that I got back that God gave me back, but God gave me him to have for the time that I had him before because I hadn't seen him in 11 years since a little boy. But God brought him home for years, and then when he went to prison, he didn't come home. So I know loss too. I know how I'm a mother lost a child. Okay, so I'm just grateful, you know, and to be here today and to keep on going, you know.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I didn't know how our interview was going to go, what direction it was going to go in, but I knew that it would be divine. I knew that you were going to drop nuggets. I knew you would be the example for people to give them hope to say, if she could do it, I can too.
That's right.
Because
That's
some of
my
your journey, I know people ain't had a lot of what happened to you happen to them, and they can come through. You can heal. You can get out of this system. We have a system that keeps us trapped. That system you was in was not a system to heal you. That was a system to keep you down and to hurt you even more. So I'm proud of you for
thank you.
coming out of that system. Sometimes it's the government, it's corruption.
That's
And
right.
oh, we're bringing them in here. They weren't trying to heal you, right? They was really making money off you. It was they was trying testing things on you. And so I'm so proud of you that you
Mhm.
are here.
Thank you.
Jesse said it's grateful for this. Yes, Tasha is divine. She
Thank you.
is divine is a great
Jesse!
word.
That is, let me tell you about Jesse. Jesse is the journalist that got my story told to the world, many
Yes.
women. Jesse is a journalist in New York City that did some investigative journalism that I talked about when she came. It was so funny. We were here in South Carolina when she came along as a, to interview us for Department of Corrections in this lawsuit because justice is here. This is what's happening. Your story is getting investigated. God gonna hear it, and he can't pay you enough. I'm gonna let you know that now. But it could compensate you to make your healing even more reachable.
Yes.
You know. And thank you, Jesse. I love
Thank
you.
you, Jesse.
And my grandbaby, look at her. She
It's
said,
my
"My queen."
grandbaby.
She,
Oh,
she down in LSU. This is
oh, she
in her
said she
first year
loves
in
you.
LSU, the one that I told you about. Yeah.
Yes, congratulations,
Yes.
congratulations, and I know
So
she's
proud of
ready to
her.
come, and she's changing the generation.
She is.
When you do the work, it
So let
affects
me tell you what
future
her name was
generations.
when God told me. He said, "This is the mother of the blessed generation." So when I used to introduce her, that's how I introduced her. I said, "This is the mother of the blessed generation."
Yes,
I love you, Jesse.
yes.
Mother of the blessed generation, my granddaughter,
Princess
Princess Kayla.
Taylor. Yes, we change future generations. That is what we do, and that's why healing is so important. And I honor you. I thank you for coming on the show. I thank you
Vanessa,
for encouraging us.
we just had a divine meeting,
We
girlfriend. I'm
did.
sitting in the bank cashing my check, and the people tell me about you. Huh? That
It was
let me
supposed to
know
line up.
it is so true. It's so true. I'm just so grateful to be with you. You gave me a lot of purpose of even though this is a land of the ancestors, and I was telling you, and when we met up and everything, and we went to go to the play and stuff, it felt just so right. And I felt very I see I could call you self, you know, and I see myself in my
Wow.
in the love for others in you, you know. And I said this is a person that I would love to be with and around and on this, you know, because this is not is I'm trying to tell you, you rare. You not it's not like plentiful candy and everything. When you rare. And when God set you in this land itself, the land of my ancestors, it couldn't have been a better place to be grounded. Like just got my new place that I'm very happy about, you know, and give me stability, you know, and thank you.
You're so beautiful. Your spirit is so beautiful. I'm just grateful that I'm able to walk this journey with you. I'm
Yes,
honored for that. And until the next thing that we do together, because this is
that's right. You already know.
we will have
Yeah.
another show where we're going to have Tasha come on, and Karen from last week is going to come back, and they're actually going to talk about the injustices and the rapes in the prison system, and we're
That's
going to
right.
do it in May. And so it's just
Wonderful.
big because sexual assault is just not in families, it's not just on the streets, it's in the prison system, it's in the hospitals, it's in different organizations.
Oh my
And we do
goodness.
not talk about it. And I
Yes.
want us to expose it, to expose and talk about what's going on. It's in the government, it's in the military. And so I'm going to continue bringing people on to share their truth and to expose those systems that we're stuck in that are harming us, but that we
Yes.
can get out of and heal. And so that's what I'm taking away from this.
Yeah.
That's what I'm taking away from this.
Because if you think about awareness, you know, and most people that, you know, we start speaking, oh, I didn't know this. Of course you didn't, because our mouths, we were gagged.
Mhm.
And so I thank you for having this name that of your organization. I think that it was perfect because it is hush, hush your mouth and don't you say nothing, even to yourself. You know, you don't want to cause nothing. You don't want people looking at you a certain way. So I thank you for your organization. I thank you for your commitment to bring this really deep delicate situation, because people don't like to talk about children being having sex on them. People don't like to talk about rape. They don't want to hear the graphics. And that's what happened when we went to the city council. We had to give them a little graphic story of a dark story on the inside of walls and places and when you were a child. Because that should have never happened to me at the PAL.
No.
And the other girls and boys that it happened to. It should have never happened to us there.
Mhm.
You're retired police officers in a police athletic league taking little children up the stairs. And the things he made me do to him, I won't even say.
But I do believe, like you said,
Yeah.
what comes up must
It's
come
gonna
down,
come out. It's true. It's true.
and we will see it. So thank you.
You're
I have
welcome.
some good news to share. I have
What's
some
up?
good news to
Come
share
on
with
now.
the audience. So Kendra Scott, the jewelry store, contacted us because they wanted us to have our own jewelry line for Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So this month, you can go online and purchase jewelry for self-love. Whatever you've been through, it's all about loving yourself. Teal is the color for sexual assault. Purple is the color
Mm,
for domestic violence. So we added them together. But you can go online and purchase it. Next Sunday, April 26th, you could purchase online or in store from 3 to 5 at the Trenton Road store here
mhm,
in Columbia, South Carolina. And everything, 20% of it goes back to Hush No More. It's helping us
mhm.
build our safe house. And the code is give back dash LXHDT.
Such beautiful jewelry.
Isn't it beautiful?
Oh
I
my
was
God.
like, what? When they reached out to us, I was like, you want to do what? For sexual awareness
Yes.
month?
Look at
You
this.
wanna talk about survivors?
And look what it says, shine, do good. Come
Damn
on now.
right,
You
baby,
can't
'cause
mess
I believe
around.
so too. Yes. And so this is all about loving yourself, and this is our new jewelry line. And so I wanted to make sure that I brought it out to shared it with everybody, and that I brought it up while you were on with me because I think it's just so amazing. And I don't know what else God has in store for us, but baby, it's coming. So
It
next Sunday,
is.
26, people just reaching out, want to bless us, want to help us raise awareness. When you have a story, to reach out and do that. Y'all see how beautiful it is, and this is just some of the jewelry that we have in our line. And so please go on. It's also in the store, and I'm just very, very grateful for them for doing this for us. And That's how it happens when
Mhm.
you get to this, when you share your story, and people will reach out and support you.
It's
And
true.
I ask that y'all support us, that you help us be able to get to the next level, and do what we could do for God's people, because that's what it's about. It's always about God's people. So I dropped the code in the comment section. Please share it. We will be sharing the flyer and more information about it this week. And it's truly a blessing. And remember to love yourself.
Yes,
Clothes and jewelry and things that just make you
that's
feel
right.
good and celebrate yourself. That's what it's about. It's about self-love. Today's also, I'm gonna tell y'all again, it's Incest Awareness Day. So love on somebody that has experienced incest. If you are a survivor of incest, that's just a way to say, hey, love yourself. Don't be embarrassed or ashamed of what happened to you, because we're exposing it and you can liberate from all of that that has been happening to you. And that is our goal about talking about this, is how can we change the world? Because it's not just in the States, it is all around the world. And that is our goal, is to make a difference. I am going to share Tasha's information. This is her email. If you want to reach out to her and send her an email, if she has inspired you, please leave that a comment for her. Let her know. It's Tasha, Tasha Carter, is t.carter harlem at gmail.com. t.carter harlem at gmail.com. For those that are on the podcast, if you were just touched by her story, love on her, celebrate other survivors, celebrate other addicts who have overcame these challenges,
Yes.
because it's important. Do you have anything that you want to share before we get out of here, Tasha?
I love everyone. Love yourself, and that's it, y'all. I'm on fire. I'm getting ready to settle into my new apartment. I was waiting for this day, and I knew it was going to be exciting, and I didn't know where it was going to go to, but I love the direction that we took tonight and the conversation that we had, and I love the audience as well, and the interaction with everybody, And when you come into a person, because I have a couple of TikTok pages and everything, trust me, baby, that matters. When you say thank you, sharing your powerful story, that
Yeah.
does something for me. You give me back what I'm giving you, and it's reciprocal. And that does something, because I'm not up here for
Yeah.
nothing. And I thank you all for your love and your encouragement. And
What's your TikTok page?
Monique, Lady of Wisdom, and yeah,
Monique, Lady of Wisdom.
wisdom. And I have a couple, and then another one I have is Spiritually Tea. So,
Spirituality. And if you could drop them in the comments or send it to me, and I'll share it with the
okay,
community so you can reach out and follow you on TikTok, because you
all
do
right.
have some powerful. And of course, my mom Geneva is on, and she just love y'all. She say thanks, Queen.
Thank you,
Thank you, girl.
Geneva.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mom. Karen over here asking about you.
So I honor you. Remember that you all have a right to hush no more. What has happened to you does not have to continue to affect you. You can liberate, you can share, you can heal, and don't let nobody tell you that you can't,
That's
because Tasha is proof of that. I am proof of that. And I honor you. Peace and blessings to you all. I love you. I love you for being in this space. Share our video. Tell somebody about love and kindness and how we could change the world together.
and
Peace and
come
blessings
back for the
to you.
next one.
And come back to the next one. Peace, y'all.
All right.